Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox. It's an Insecure review. I'm here to give you guys a review for Hella Shook. That's Insecure episode 2, I believe. Not episode 2, season 2. I think this is episode 5. Or I can't believe that we are already around 5 and 6 on this show. Shit is going by so fast. Anyway, I was like, let me get out here and do this video because today is the total eclipse of the heart. That's for my old rock stars. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But you know, the eclipse is today, and it's supposed to be happening somewhere around 1:30ish. So I was like, let me get out here and do this before. But it's already starting to look weird outside. Like it already looks like evening or like late afternoon, and it's still morning time. So I'm excited. I think the last total eclipse was like, they said 84. I kind of remember like 7-Eleven giving out glasses and shit back in the day. They don't look nothing like the ones today though. So I was like, our eyes were probably fucked up when we was looking at them back then. But exciting. It's an exciting time. You know, it wasn't that big. I guess it was a big deal back then. But everybody is talking about it this year. So, and you know, a day that we can be one with science and learn some things, always a good thing. As far as the show, you guys, let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys. So Issa, I guess she's seeing Daniel now. I was just like, wow, that escalated fast, right? She's over at his house. They didn't had a session. I mean, all day. Even when they finish, you know, he invites her to go get something to eat afterwards. I was like, oh, we doing this now, huh? Wow, shit did move quickly. I actually like Issa with Daniel. I think that they have more connection than her and Lawrence ever had. I mean, we only saw when her and Lawrence were together and they were having problems, which was 2 years worth of time. So maybe that's why we didn't really see the connection. But I feel like Daniel is more of the person that she should be with than Lawrence anyway. What y'all think? Then Molly, we see her at work. She's at the Chicago office helping out. I don't even know the guy's name. Lil Rel, you guys know the comedian, the one that is the lawyer out that way. Anyway, he was like, have you already talked to your boss about Travis, the white boy, making more money than you? And she was just like, no, you know, she just gonna work and do what she gotta do. And he was just like, well, I mean, you ain't really gotta stay there. You can make more money other places and other ways. And she was like, yeah, but I didn't put in so much time there. 4 years. 4 years is not that long. But in today's workplace, I guess 4 years is long. And she doesn't want to waste that time. But he was just like, well, you have options. That's the whole thing. You ain't got to stay in your job and be miserable. And I think a lot of us, including myself sometimes, we get stuck. We get comfortable. And next thing you know, 10, 15, 20 years have passed by and you still see yourself in this old, you know, no going nowhere job. So that was food for thought even for myself. Anyway, it is cool to see that Lawrence has a relationship with his work buddies, okay? Everybody has more than just their little pocket of friends that we see. And that's one of the good things that I like about this show, because you do have your work friends and then you have your hang friends and then you have your close best friends. So it's realistic in that aspect. But you know, he's jogging with the friends and he tells them that he has jury duty. I love jury duty. I've grown to really like jury duty. At first I was just like, who feel like sitting up in this fucking room all the time? But I tell you, you can get your ass up in there and you can get a lot done. I can do a video on my lunch break and then I can go in there and I can edit while I'm waiting for them to call me to a room. And you know, I can get up and transfer to this next room and, you know, read a book or talk on the phone with my friends, text back and forth. You know, the possibilities are endless. And then, of course, we always have to remember our social responsibility to jury duty. I mean, we complain about the justice system and people not getting fair trials, but a lot of the time, you and I, my cousins, the rock stars, folks that I know and love, okay, a lot of times we will avoid going to jury duty, especially when we are needed, okay, because they can only get a good pool together if we participate. So that was like the social, that was the social message for the episode. One of many that they had in this episode, actually. Later on that evening, Molly and Issa, they're talking, okay. Molly still want to go out the country. You know, we can go to Morocco. You know, Issa's like, bitch, I'm broke as fuck. Ain't nobody doing that, okay. But while she's sitting there talking to her, Issa gets a text message from Daniel. You know, she kind of got that smirk, that smile when, you know, you got some fresh new ding ding hitting you up on your phone. And Molly was like, what's that about? And she's like, girl, that's just Daniel. She's like, oh, I didn't know y'all was seeing each other like that. And she was just like, girl, it ain't nothing. We just got history and we comfortable with each other. But, you know, I done added him to the hotation. I was like, Issa, I don't know why she insists on trying to be this hoe that she's not. You don't even have to be a hoe, but, you know, you can look at Issa and tell she is not a serial dater. You have to be so comfortable with being out there like that. Issa just is not it. So even when she be talking, you be sitting there looking at the screen like, girl, who you think you fooling? But whatever, you know, she got all these bays. You know, she got Daniel. That's the old boyfriend bae. She got neighbor bae. Okay, she about to get Latino bae. Okay. How many of you guys have dated out of your race? I've never done it. But I always wonder if there was something that I passed up, you know, meeting a good person because I wasn't open to, but I just never was really attracted. No, let me take that back. There were plenty of good looking white guys at my school. At Palisades, them boys was rich and they was cute, and you know, there was a lot of them there, but I still didn't have that attraction for them. I mean, I guess you just, whatever you are attracted to. Any of you guys ever, I know actually quite a few of my rock stars are in interracial relationships and marriages, but y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Now, Daniel's in this jury duty, and like I said, you know, you got all kind of time to just do whatever. So scrolling Instagram, okay, see that fool Kelly doing the hot pepper challenge. He was like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Okay, but while he's watching, he comes across a picture of Issa. I'm sure they have plenty of the same friends, and in the background is Daniel. This is the transference of energy. You guys ever watch Two Can Play That Game? I'm telling you, that movie is so fucking funny because it is so accurate on certain things, and the transference of energy is really one of them. Okay, so remember when Issa was obsessed with Tasha, who we haven't seen. I was just like, oh, maybe Tasha really is out the picture. Tasha was like, fuck you, but I don't think so. But anyway, remember when she was obsessed with Tasha? Well, now the tables have turned. The transference of energy has moved on to Lawrence, and he can't get past the fact that Issa must be seeing Daniel again. That's a hard thing for a man's ego to get over. I tell you, that social media keep a whole lot of shit going. You do best just not to even look on it sometimes. But moving on, Issa is, you know, we got y'all. They about to have this retreat. The boss tells them that they're partnering up with another community outreach program to, you know, tap into the kids that really want to get involved with the arts in school. And it's so funny because her boss is just one of those people you can tell she might be like a tree hugger type, you know, just one of them ones that just wants to help everybody. You know, you guys have been around those certain type of white people, and or a certain type of people, I should say, period. But it's pointed out in the fact that she is white, but, you know, working in this inner city community program. Issa still has to deal with the problem of Frida. You guys know that Frida has a problem with not reporting principal gains. And she tells Issa that because Issa could still feel the friction there. Issa was like, you know, there's a whole bunch of gains out there in the world, and Frida still doesn't see why they should be letting this one particular gains get away with it. Issa tries to point out to her that black people can't be racist, and she's like, that's not true. She gives the literal definition for racism. There's always some conversation about white privilege, and the fact that black people sometimes ignore what might be blatantly at least be seen as discrimination, because we're on the other side of the coin. So you see what I'm saying? So white people, when they see a problem, they want to point that shit out right away. And black people was like, we already got it hard enough. It's not like you guys don't always get your way anyway. So we might not be so quick to want to point out the gains in the world. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, let me move on. Now, Molly, her parents are having this vow renewal. You know, they've been married, I think they said 35 years. And you guys know that Molly has stars in her eyes when she thinks of her parents, like many of us do who have parents that stayed together a long time. You know, you build all of your hopes and dreams around your parents, right? And what you saw growing up and what you aspired to be when you got old enough and got in your own relationships and started your own marriages and families and things like that, right? So keep that in mind. She's over there, she's bringing stuff for the party, and here come Dro. Why am I the only one that don't think that Dro is... Everybody's like, he is so cute, and you guys usually, I love me a good tall man, okay? But something about Dro, he is definitely one of those ones, if I were to see him, I would be like, because I don't know if it's his pan expression, he just sort of flat-faced, or if it's because he's got this deep voice that always stays on one note, or is it the played out hairdo, kind of Albie Shurisk, and you know, this gold chain, these tight shirts? Like, he really reminds me of 1996. Guys, I don't know, am I the only one to see it? Because every time he come on the screen, I'll be like, oh God. And something about him I don't trust. But you know, he's over there, he's helping her bring in the stuff. You know, his family lives right across the street from her. Well, from her mother and father. But Dro apologizes, you know he laid too much on her at the kiss and grind, but you know, you ever thought about us doing something? And she was just like, well, yeah, I have thought about it, but you know, you're married, and you know, I just don't get down like that. But my whole thing is, why do you tell somebody that you thought about it? See, that's an old trick. Ladies, y'all know good damn well when you tell somebody that you thought about doing some shit that you know you was not supposed to do, that is sort of like you leaving the door open, okay? If you just press a little harder, if you just try, if you catch me in a weak moment, you gonna get this ass. We as women, sometimes we be playing games and shit, and when Molly said that, I said, Molly, now you know good and damn well you should not have told him that. She goes into the house, you know, they're playful banter between her mother and father, just seeing that them two are in love. They've been together all these years, and you know, her brother comes over with his friend. He's helping them get shit together, but you can just kind of see how Molly sees her parents and her whole family unit there. They was making it important that you guys saw that. Now, let's skip over to the date that Issa had with Latin Bay. She does text Daniel trying to hook up with him later, but she doesn't get an immediate response from him. And then she see Latin Bay over there, and you know what? Nico, that's his name. Nico ain't too bad. She was like, oh, okay, maybe. Once she sits down with them, and, you know, she has her little awkward moment of her, you know, trying to be sexy, at least in her mind. She want to say all these cute, clever things, and then she want to rip his shirt off and kiss him, but we know that ain't what Issa does, okay? Instead, she awkwardly sits there and talks to him. But then we get a little nerd exchange where he realizes that she's a Marvel Comics fan and he's a DC Comics fan, which I don't understand how anybody could be a DC Comics fan. I'm sorry. Latin Bay seems to be pretty cool, and when Daniel actually texts her back, like, you know, come on through, she was just like, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it. Something else came up. And the date seems to be cool. You know, it's midnight. They still having a good time, but it's late and it's time to kind of turn it in. Issa suggests that they continue to hang out, but he gotta go, you know, out of town the next day. I was like, is that a line? But he said, you know, we can do this in the future. So I was like, cool. If dates can go this smoothly, then dating wouldn't be so bad. I guess this would be one that you can say Issa had a nice date finally. Now the next day at work, well, this the retreat, you know, and Issa texts Daniel and she tells him that, you know, sorry she didn't come through the night before, and he was like, that's okay, you know, you come on through the night, you can make it up tonight. And I was like, look at himself making himself available and everything. You know, Issa's happy, like, okay. But like I said, she's at this retreat, and you know how these damn things go. You know, I hate when we have special type of meetings where they branch us off with the groups. They're given a scenario, the boss gives them a scenario where a child who usually does very well in class starts to act out, and what could be the possible reasons the kid is acting out. And of course, everybody goes off on this whole other tangent, okay? Somebody says something about the parents being gang members, or if there's drugs involved, okay? Something in the home life has changed. And, oh, that's my car telling me my oil needs to be changed. I tried to go on Saturday and the damn place was too crowded. Okay, so I'm going on Tuesday, Foxy. She got her damn nerves interrupting my damn video. Anyway, the folks automatically jumped to the worst conclusions, and Issa was like, how about we just ask the kids what the problem is? And Frida was like, I agree. It could be many reasons, okay? But Frida still got issue with her. And, you know, Frida and Issa usually work together, but when they break off into groups, Frida don't want to work with Issa. Frida's going to be a problem for Issa, because something tells me that Issa is going to get that head, the director position, because, you know, the lady still has to name this person, and I believe it's going to be Issa, and I believe Frida is going to give her the blues, but we will see. Let's get to this party. Molly has her guy there, and I was surprised. I was like, oh, Lionel, who would have known would. She would have brought him, considering she wasn't really feeling him like that. And her parents, you know, her mom likes him, like, oh, you know, something promising. He looks nice. He's dressed well. He speaks well, and he seems to be cool. Dro walks up, and Dro is not really cock blocking, but he's already got this height, and he's, you know, you could just tell that he was kind of using his relationship, friendship, whatever you want to call it, with Molly to just kind of make everybody uncomfortable. So he was like, you guys work together? No, we don't work together. Molly fucks up his job, don't even know what he does. You know, Molly says that they grew up together. His family lives right across the street. And it's just weird. Molly asked him, where's Candace? And he says that she's in the bachelorette party. And I was like, now what the fuck is going on with Candace? Why is Candace not around ever again in life? She's at a damn yoga retreat. She's at a damn bachelorette party. Like, I'm not really believing some of the shit that Dro is throwing these days. I said, oh, Molly. Seems like Dro might be a liar. Or at least stretching the truth. But we gonna see. So far, we haven't had any other reason to believe that, but just something, my third eye is telling me something is up. Later on, she's talking to her brother's friend, and, you know, she's just telling him sort of like, you know, she's just sort of resorting to being okay with Lionel. And he was just like, look, if you're not really okay with him, even if he is a good dude, that don't mean you have to be with him. I was like, this is not the best advice. Like, that's true. You shouldn't settle. But when you know the whole entire picture, in Molly's case, that might not be the best advice, okay? So here we got one person that's already kind of given her license. Now, you know, it's already in her mind. Dro already has made it clear that he would like to do something with her. Now you got the friend of the family that's kind of telling her, you ain't got to do it if you don't want to. And then it doesn't help that, you know, she's standing around talking to her auntie's cousins. You guys know it's always that one messy ass auntie that says something along the lines of, your parents ain't always had it the way you think they had it. And she basically says, girl, I didn't think they was gonna last 5 years, let alone 35 years after what he did to my sister. And everybody is like kind of hushing her up, like, shut up, you always got to say some shit. Molly has no idea what they're talking about. But when you hear something like this, of course, you know, your hackles is rise. You want to know what the fuck everybody's talking about. She was just like, what? And I was like, oh, this is bad. Because nothing is worse than finding out family secrets in a situation like this. Definitely when you look at Molly, who is, like I said, built up the relationship and that her parents have. And that is something that she aspires to. I don't even know if it was reachable, you know, in her mind, the way that she thought that her parents were. But she confronts her brother about it. Okay, did dad cheat on mom? And he was like, yeah, but, you know, they got past it. And Molly is pissed. Okay, fuck this relationship. Fuck this damn fake-ass vow renewal ceremony. Fuck everything. In her mind, now everything is ruined. When her mom comes in there, you know, she asked her dad, like, how could you cheat on mom? And mom, how could you stay? Well, this seemed like a child almost who was acting out, because as grown people, the reality is shit happens in relationships all the time. You don't realize that when you're younger, but when you're grown and more mature, you understand that things are never black and white. You realize that there's a whole bunch of gray areas that, even though you don't give excuses for why people do what they do when they mess up in a relationship, and not necessarily just cheating, but if it's financial issues or if it's just communication problems or whatever, when you realize that there's gray issues, that's when you really know that you are more mature in a relationship. Okay, for instance, nothing like this, but when my mom passed, I found out some family secrets, things that were always whispered around, but, you know, people were talking a lot when my mom passed, and, you know, it was an eye-opener for me but I think in my case, it made me look at my mom, my dad, my family, and more maturely, like, wow. Okay, because I was another one that kind of put my mom and dad on a pedestal. They were married 46 years when my mom died. And it just made me realize that they are for real people. And it's never realistic to just think that your parents are perfect, even though they shield you from all the stuff, you know, because ain't no parent trying to tell you about the shit that they did when, you know, back when you was 10 years old and shit, you know. But when you're more mature and you're grown and you can understand these things, like it just made me really appreciate my mom and dad because they have been through a lot. And even now when that my mom is passed and my dad is much older, my dad is 80 years old now. My dad is always telling us stories, and it's a lot of the stories I've heard over the years 100 times, but there's a lot of new stories that I didn't know about. And I can appreciate it now. But anyway, I'm getting off track. As far as Molly is concerned, she is crushed because, you know, even now she realized that even her parents aren't perfect. Okay, so when she storms out and leaves, Lionel's there and he tries to help her, you know, but she doesn't want any comforting from him. And Dro is like, I got it, I'll take care of it. He walks her to her car, opens the door for her, and she leaves with Dro. And I was just like, again, like, can you at least acknowledge Lionel? I mean, he is there for you. He don't know nobody else there. I'm sure he's met people that night, but I was just like, oh, Molly, you just, girl, so many things about Molly, you know, that we see is just like, So she's in the car and she's upset and, you know, she can't understand and, you know, everybody doing all these cheating and shit and she just can't get past it. And Dro was just like, you know, being the shoulder for her. You just got to find somebody that's understands you and all of this. But you can already see how it's building up, right? He drives her to her place and then how he gonna get home? Okay, he says he's gonna take Lyft, not Uber. Did you guys catch that? Because Uber got that fuck shit going on with the racist people. But he gonna catch a Lyft. And she doesn't let him do that. When he's walking off, she grabs him. And next thing you know, they fucking in the bed. I said, see, Molly. Oh, gosh. I mean, we get so caught up in what we want to do, even if we didn't push that shit down. Okay, and we tell ourselves that we're gonna make ourselves feel better by, what, sleeping with your childhood friend. Okay, when you already knew that's not what you wanted to do. I mean, I get that she wanted to be comforted and all that, but I was just like, oh, it's a mistake. Because something tell me that Dro is lying about Candace. We gonna find out, but see, they already did the do. And I don't just see Molly being okay as part of a threesome open relationship thing, so that is a mess. Now, jumping over to Lawrence, I did like the scene also when he was sitting with his friend. He is so upset about the fact that Issa might be hanging out with Daniel again. And now all of a sudden he's questioning their whole relationship. And his friend was just like, you talking about Issa? Like awkward Issa? I mean, can you just see how she dances or even lives? That girl is not out there like that. You can look at her and tell, but you know, Lawrence has put it in his mind that she's been fucking around all this time. But see, that's what they make you think. They be looking like they're so innocent. They just be out there hoeing and shit. Okay, but the friend is just like, listen, this is not all on Issa. You can't forget the fact that you was off work for 2 fucking years and had her taking care of you. I mean, I'm not saying that she should be out there fucking around because you guys are still in a relationship. However, I can see how she would keep herself open when she's so fucking disappointed with your black ass. And I was so glad he said it. I was like, oh, I'm so glad he said it. And it really takes a mature man to tell they boys something like that because the ego is fragile and stuff. But evidently him and this guy have a good enough friendship where he could tell him that. And Lawrence didn't get all upset because I know he had to know somewhere deep down inside that shit was true. But I was glad that he said it because, listen, like I told you guys before, there's always gray areas. And I hate when people look at one act as opposed to, and I'm guilty of it too, so I'm adding myself into this, as opposed to looking at the whole fucking play. One act is totally different than why everything else happens. So I'm always, as I've gotten older, more interested in the whys these things happen. Issa, you know, she's at this damn retreat and she getting text messages from her, you know, I guess her Tinder or whatever, you know, guy texts her and tells her to send a picture of her, so of course she tries to send him some pictures of her titties and somebody walk in right when she does it and she was just like, oh, you know, screening for cancer. She's so damn stupid. Can you go in the stall? Why are you taking pictures of yourself in the middle of the bathroom? Somebody always walks in because I always adjust my skirt. When I wear a skirt, I'll lift my skirt up and pull my shirt down underneath, and it don't never fail. Somebody walk in and I'm ass out, child. But she leaves the retreat still fooling around with this boy on Tinder or Snapchat or whatever it is, and he snaps her a picture of his dick while she's driving, and of course she runs into the back of a car, fucks the front of her car up, airbag, all of that. Tow truck comes, and now she calls Daniel because she was supposed to be coming through there, remember, after the retreat. But Daniel says he'll come pick her up. When he gets there, he's like, he's saving his girl. He gives her a hug, don't worry about it. I'm here now. I'm here now. And she was just like, oh, what is he thinking? She was like, we cool, right? And he was just like, yeah. And she was just like, I'm just saying, like, you seeing people, I'm seeing people. And he was just like, yeah. And she says, I just, because last time it got fucked up and I just want us to be on the same page. And he was just like, oh, okay. You could see when you turn the page in the book, it was like right there on his face, because I don't know if Daniel was feeling like they was like automatically in a relationship, but he's feeling her, obviously. He likes her. Why can't we work on something like this? You was making it seem like it. Now you acting like you don't want to do this no more. Okay, be careful what you ask for. Because I done been down this road when I was back dating. Okay, and I'll tell somebody that, and then all of a sudden they completely flip the script, and then you be like, wait the fuck a minute now. I didn't say I wanted you to curve me like this. But you already know that's what he gonna do. It started off already, because when she was walking to her door, now we friends now, even though he still could have did it, but I think he was so annoyed by what she said, he didn't open her door for her. You got it? Yeah. Okay. And now you done made it clear that I'm going to take you out this category of possible girlfriend, and now we just fucking around as friends. It's going to be bad. I told you guys before, Issa and this whole rotation thing, it is not good. That is not her thing, and she about to be sorry that she opened that door with Daniel. Alright, you guys, let me get off here. Did you guys do it look darker? I don't know what's going on with my laptop. It's still saying that I'm on Louisiana time. Maybe I gotta go in there and change the date and time, but it seemed like it would have picked it up from the internet. Anyway, you guys, let me get off of here. Also, I want to say at the end of the video, you guys, that it is my mom's birthday, and it's a good day. I don't feel like I'm gonna cry or anything like that. It's good years and bad years, and this is definitely a good year. So, happy birthday to Ruby Jewel up there in heaven. Okay, playing the piano and singing in her heart alto. My mom used to have that hard alto, y'all. She just was carrying that line. I said, oh, Ruby. Anyway, you guys, let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.